Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Hello, if this is the first time you're seeing me. Welcome, my name is Michaela and I am on a no-buy till Easter. It is hardcore. I don't think I've mentioned that on YouTube yet. I'm trying to use up a lot of products that I've already got. I'm trying to save money, I'm trying to pay down my debts, and I decided a no-buy for Lent would be a good idea. Now, I cheated one time and that item is coming today, and I don't feel like it's too much of a cheat because it's a TENS machine for my constant back pain, which we've talked about at length. And so many of you told me I needed to try one. A friend at work finally brought one in for me to try and I'm completely in love. So it's like £20. It's not a big deal, but I do feel, I feel I should tell you because that's the relationship that we're in now. So because of the no-buy, I'm going to skip the next couple of weeks shop with me Sundays or Sunday shopping or whatever we decided to call it. They're not going away completely, but I thought we're gonna skip them for the next couple of weeks and we'll do some Q&As. So I asked on Instagram and I got a bunch of questions, and I thought to make it a little bit more interesting, I'm gonna put my makeup on at the same time. I will try to remember to link everything below, but everything is from my current project pan, so it's nothing new if you're already aware of what I'm using within that. So let me get the questions up. What do you think about the toilet paper madness that's taking over the world right now? Great question. So I thought it was completely nuts. Number one, I thought it was like totally bananas that people were buying all of this stuff. Now, I have to be completely honest with you. Yesterday I bought 45 rolls of toilet paper from Amazon, but hear me out. I am not a doomsday prepper. I am not concerned about getting coronavirus and being a shut-in. I'm just not worried about it. I know that worst case scenario, I'll be fine. Number one, I'll be fine. But you just find ways to deal with your life, don't you? And I'm just not worried about it at all. However, because there are so many people that are like bulk buying so many things like pasta, can't buy pasta at the moment, driving me crazy. It's like 50% of my diet. It's driven us normal folks to have to do that. Because if I don't buy 45 rolls of toilet paper now, when I'm perfectly healthy and well and going into the shops, I won't be able to buy it because everyone else has bought it all. So I think it's crazy. I completely understand why people are doing it. But also it's kind of nuts because I just don't think it's going to be that big a deal. Did you see this morning, Tom Hanks posted on Instagram saying he and Reese Wilson, his wife, have both got coronavirus. They're in Australia and they've tested positive and now they're going to be like isolated and observed and yada yada. And the way that he announced it was just, so Tom Hanks anyway, but it was so chill. It wasn't hysterical. We don't need to be scared. Other stuff kills people all the time. I know that I'm in a place of privilege that I'm healthy. I'm, within an age range that's safer. I'm just not worried about it. Maybe I should be. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I'm not worried about it. Okay, do you think social media / YouTube champions working class style? Basically something about YouTube, social media, class and money. I'm not entirely sure what that question is. Working class style. I do and I don't. If I'm understanding the question correctly, I think that it has made it possible for people of from all different walks of life to become very, very successful and in some cases very, very rich in a totally classless way. However, it also has been, as with anything, has been something that is easier to attain that kind of success if you can put money behind it. And it still is who you know in some certain situations. So I think it's kind of like 6-1, half a dozen of the other. Any breakup advice as I got dumped yesterday? Okay. So it's been a long time since I've been in that kind of relationship, like a new what's going to happen kind of relationship. But when this happens to friends that I know, I always say, it's just not, I am a strong believer of this anyway, but it's just not meant to be. Like, if the person broke up with you, why would you want to be with that person? Why would you want to spend your very precious time with someone who, for whatever reason, doesn't want to be with you? If you feel like there's some underlying reason and there's some kind of personal growth on your part, then great. Use it as an excuse to work on yourself. I think we all should be working on ourselves all the time. I'm a complete self-help junkie, and there are great ways to learn to communicate. The more you learn about like why we do things, the more you understand why somebody else, like it just makes you more empathetic and easier to resolve conflicts and stuff. However, if you're just kind of in that space of why, because something better is out there for you. Like that's as much advice as I can give. I know it's hard when you're in the moment, but it's true. Like that has to be something else that they've made way for, is how I choose to believe, or how I choose to see the world. If you can only use one budget beauty range for the rest of your life, what would it be? Oh, that is tough. And I don't know what we're classing as budget beauty, because there are some budget beauty purists for whom, like, even e.l.f. now is I'm using an e.l.f. palette right now. Even e.l.f. is like outpricing themselves, or pricing themselves out of the budget beauty arena because things are getting more and more expensive. If we're talking like natural collection, even MUA is getting more expensive, but still definitely within the range. I mean, MUA is good. I like MUA stuff, but I don't know if I could get everything from there. Essence is really, really nice, but again, they do some stuff better than others. If we're just talking kind of drugstore brand, as in like Maybelline, Revlon, L'Oreal, which I know have their issues, I tend to lean towards Maybelline because I know that there are plenty of foundations. My favourite mascaras have come from there. The lip products are really good. I think probably it would be Maybelline. I think I've probably given that answer before. Skincare, what you refer, are we meant to do things? I think she means what order are we meant to do things in. Right, so I made a video recently when we were talking about the project pan and the no-buy, and within the video we were talking about an article that I was reading with a cheat sheet from Cosmopolitan, and it gave it in a strange order, and we were kind of, in the comments then, people were talking about, well, I wouldn't do this, and da-da-da-da-da. There are certain things that make sense, like, obviously you wouldn't put a toner on last, you want those things to go on first, you want the things that are like, I want to say the things closest to your skin, but to me, there just is a logical way. The only thing that makes less sense to me is when you get to the end and you get conflicting advice, so like oils and moisturizers. Some people say oils go on last because they are the heaviest thing and they can like penetrate through other stuff. Whereas if you put on an oil and you put something else on top, then it can't penetrate. But then I've also heard that you put the oil on and then you put on a heavy lotion, or a heavy, not a lotion, like a night cream. And that's like the final step. I think Caroline Hirons once said it was like a winter coat, and it like keeps everything else in. It's hard to know because there are so many conflicting things. I'm sure people will say in the comments, they will tell you who their favourite people are, but ultimately, same with any kind of advice like this, the advice will change. In another 10 years, they'll be saying, oh no, now you need to do this first. So I think just do what works for you, keep it simple if you're really, really confused. And I would do some kind of toner, a serum, and an oil or a moisturiser. It's kind of my absolute bare minimum, and they would be the steps in which I did it. But you know, you can add as many steps as you want and you can find loads of information about this. How did you and Em meet and how long have you been friends? So this is another question that I get quite frequently because it is a strange thing. Number one, we're not in the same blogging like sphere. We're not in the same category because she was originally a plus size fashion blogger. She's more kind of like vlogging and just general YouTuber-y type stuff now. But originally, that's where she kind of came into this. And obviously, we would never have met in that social setting because I was not that. I didn't even do kind of like style blogging, really. And the funniest thing, once upon a time on Twitter, I posted something saying that I wanted to do a series of like chat videos, like a let's chat type. This is very popular now, but way back when this was not popular. And I wanted to do like a what did I call it? Like a loose women. Is loose women still a thing? Like a loose women. And I don't even know if I'd seen loose women, truth be told. I still don't think I've seen it. But I got the general idea that, because I can't talk when I do stuff with my eyes, that it's just like a bunch of women sitting around and discussing a topic. Now, again, this is like podcast, this whole idea in itself has just become like super commonplace anyway. And it definitely lends itself better to a podcast. But at the time, it wasn't something people were doing. So I wanted to do this, and I wanted to see who might be interested. I didn't have any YouTuber friends. I live in Doncaster. It's not a hub of activity or a hive of activity for bloggers and YouTubers. I didn't do the whole networky thing. I didn't enjoy going to events by myself, so I hadn't really met very many people. So I could be like, oh, this is my squad and we're all going to get together and do this thing, which seemed to be what everybody was doing at the time. It was very isolating, to be honest, because I felt like I was like doing it wrong, but it just wasn't for me. I am an extrovert, but I'm not. Ooh, the sun went in. That's not cool. Let me just put this light on for one moment so I can actually see what I'm doing. I feel like it's just gone really, really dark. So, I put this out on Twitter, and a couple of people that I talked to on Twitter were then like talking amongst themselves, and someone, I think, looped in Emma, or Emma saw it, I don't know. And that's how we met on Twitter. When I put out a call for people to chat in a group, she said yeah, and then like a week later she came to my house. Which is nuts, because she lives in Dorset and I live in Doncaster. She's a long, long way away from each other. And it's crazy that, number one, she and her husband drove up to meet a complete stranger. Crazier still that I let in two total strangers to my house where I was home alone with my baby. And looking back at it, we talk about this quite frequently. Looking back at it, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts that happened. It kind of speaks to the kind of people that we are. Very, like, if you meet me in person and we like go for a coffee or whatever, you will know everything about me. I'm not a secret kind of person. I'm very like heart on my sleeve. Everybody knows everything about me, and I have absolutely no boundaries whatsoever. So I think that Emma and I are similar in that way. I would say I'm more so like that. I think she's a bit more careful. But I think that was it. We were just kind of like very open and just all in straight away. It was crazy. The craziest. Turn this light off for a second. Okay, I think the lights come back a little bit. The light being the sun. So that's how we met. And we've been friends, I think that might have been 2014. Money is very loud in the background. For those of you, I mean, I don't know why anybody would still be watching this if you've never seen my videos before, but if you didn't know, the loudest snoring dog in the world, and that's what that noise is. Next question. What do you do in your other job outside of YouTube? Great question. A question I get a lot. I work, so I'm going to tell you. It's difficult to describe because it's not like transferable to other industries, but I work for the rail industry, and if a train driver goes from A to B, or rather if a train goes from A to B, one driver can't take that train all the way. 9 times out of 10. If trains going from like Edinburgh to London, number one, that driver can't drive for that long because there are rules, and the driver may not have the knowledge of the route. So that train journey then has to be separated into multiple jobs for multiple drivers. And there are 1,000 different rules depending on the places, depending on where the drivers are, time taking from one place to another. It's the minutiae you wouldn't believe, and it's basically a puzzle. So then let's say the driver can go from Doncaster to Sheffield, for local knowledge. From Doncaster to Sheffield, they can only go from Doncaster to Sheffield. You might take it from Doncaster to Sheffield and then someone else might take it from Sheffield onwards. But it's pointless to just then get that guy back to Doncaster. If we've got another train that's going on the way back, then we'd get that driver to take it from Sheffield to Doncaster, and that balances his route. That's what I do. It's not interesting. I mean, it can be interesting, but I mean, it's not interesting to like explain. But that is what I do for a living. And a couple of people have also asked, because I talked about it at Christmas, saying that my job was potentially going to be made redundant, which is not ideal. and it's not. I got official word this week that my job is safe, so good times. The only thing that may happen, this was kind of like on the cards anyway, I was thinking, worst case scenario, if I'm potentially going to lose my job and it's like my ace up my sleeve, I'm going to offer to go full time, because I'm currently 3 days a week, because 2 days a week I do this. And it works for me really, really well to do that. I'm very lucky to have kind of fallen into this perfect thing where I'm earning a good amount of money working 3 days a week, and I'm also giving myself these 2 days to do this stuff, so it doesn't encroach too much in my like family life. But if I have to, I will go full time. And so I'm kind of waiting to see right now what's going to happen in terms of my working days, my hours. I can stay part-time, but it's kind of been insinuated that it would be good if I wasn't. And I think I'm probably going to temporarily be working full-time for a chunk of time. So we're going to see how this is going to work in terms of balancing all of this. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll go down to 2 videos. I don't know. But that's what I do, and that's what's happening with my job right now. I've had so many spam messages on this particular thing when I was talking about like question. When you ask for a question now, you get like, like sometimes you get spam comments on Instagram. Well, now the thing is to get spam comments on questions. It's the craziest thing. And the funniest thing is sometimes you get spam comments or spam questions from quite big accounts. And it's basically showing you that those accounts are using bots in some way to increase their engagement and their following. I personally would not do that. I mean, it's not even necessarily like a word ethical dilemma for me, which I know it is, but it's not. It's not for me, I'm being honest. It's more of a like, people are going to know. People are going to know. If you buy followers, people will find out. They will. And deep down, you will, I mean, Jesus, if I was going to buy followers, if I was going to buy something, I would have 100,000 subscribers by now. It's been 10 years. I do feel quite strongly, though, that we're edging closer. And because I'm such a believer in, like, what's meant to be and law of attraction and all that stuff, we're edging closer to the 100K as I get to my 10-year anniversary, which is like the 16th of April, I believe. It would be weird if I hit, it would be weird if I hit it in April at all, because that is 10 years. And I feel like anyone that does this whole like woo-woo law of attraction stuff, it basically says that you attract what you talk about. So I have said for many, many years, I'm going to hit 100K when I hit 10 years. And I feel like I kind of did that myself. I kind of brought it to myself. It's weird. I cheated a little bit. I'm using a lipstick that's not in my project pan. I have been using my Bobbi Brown tint thing, tons in the week for work. Absolutely perfect. It's like a lip balm with some tint. It's amazing. But I just put this on and thought, this really reminds me of MAC Faux. I've got on somewhere the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip liner, and then I've got on the MUA Super Stylo in Heroic. And I thought it really does look like, I used to wear faux all the time. So I swatched them, and it's not perfect. This one's faux. I mean, on camera even more so. This has got more of a kind of mauvey look to it, and this is warmer. But I mean, they're not a million miles away. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. I'm going to do another Q&A next Sunday, so it's basically going to be part 2 to this. If you've got any other questions, maybe I'll continue them and do them kind of intermittently. But thanks for watching. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. There's plenty of other beauty content on here, and we do regularly do shopping Sundays, just not at the moment, just taking a little break. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.